My source tonight worked with Donald Trump and his last vice president when he served as Trump's national security advisor. Former Ambassador John Bolton joins me now. And Ambassador, it's great to have you. Marco Rubio did not mention the prospect of the VP race. He's kind of pushed aside some of the speculation that he may be Trump's pick. But it seems like it's down to him, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. What qualifications do you think Trump is picking between them with in mind? What do you think is his priority?
Well, I think the highest priority is absolute personal loyalty to him. And I'm afraid that the vice presidential interview questionnaire has only two questions on it. Number one, do you think the 2020 election was stolen? And number two, if I told you to do what I told Mike Pence to do on January the 6th, would you do it? The answers to those two questions are yes, then you make it into the finals, and if they're no, you're out of it. It'd be a great loss of integrity for any of those people, any of the three you've named, if they said yes to both those questions. I don't think Trump has made a decision yet, and I think we have to remember with Trump, it's never final until it's final, and then sometimes it's still not final. I wouldn't put it past him to do something like have the Republican National Convention put off the vice presidential nomination for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, hold a virtual meeting later. The convention has full control of its own rules. It could do it to see what the Democrats are up to with Joe Biden by that point.
You think he'd hold off because he's worried? And I do think it is complicating the plans a little bit because, one, they delayed his sentencing, which they were kind of waiting for that we thought was going to happen this Thursday. But two, you think that he's waiting to make a pick based on what Dems do?
Look, there's no news that's going to come out of the Republican National Convention other than the vice presidential nomination. Why waste it in a week when the Democrats may still be talking about whether Joe Biden's competent to be president? I'm not saying he's going to do it, but Trump will look for every opportunity to delay this. He doesn't have to announce it on Monday. Whatever day of the week it is, the vice presidential nomination we voted on, he could announce it then.
It's remarkable to hear you bring up Pence because we've asked some of the contenders, J.D. Vance, for example, when the senator was on the show, about if how Trump treated Pence gave them any pause about taking this role. I mean, you worked alongside Pence when you were inside the West Wing. You later wrote in your book that you believed that some of Trump's actions, that Pence was stunned by some of Trump's actions when he was in office. Beyond just January 6th, I mean, there are a lot of moments before then where Pence was carefully navigating that role.
Well, I think he was clearly loyal to Trump, but he also gave Trump his opinion as the last person in the room. And there were any number of circumstances during my time there when we'd have a discussion in the Oval Office. I'd be convinced the thing was going to go in the wrong direction. I'd go back to my office and close the door and put my head in my hands. And a few minutes later, the vice president would come in and say, I think it's going to be okay. Pence did a lot to get Trump to do the right thing, even when the rest of us had failed. I don't know whether these three are capable of doing that, honestly.
I have to ask you about something which it feels almost insane to even be asking about, but obviously Donald Trump is a very visuals-focused kind of person, and he often talks about picking someone out of central casting. And Mark Caputo of The Bulwark was reporting today that one issue and obviously the knives have been out for everyone in these last few weeks as Trump is getting ready to make his pick. One issue that could go J.D. Vance's way is his facial hair. And obviously you have a famous mustache. And it was something that the Washington Post reported in 2016 was part over why Trump passed you over for being Secretary of State. I mean, is that actually something that you think would go into his consideration?
Well, Trump denied it to me later, pointing out that his father had a mustache. So I don't know if that was deeply Freudian or what, but Vance does have a beard. Maybe Trump's experience with me will be enough to knock Vance out of contention.
Because things ended so well between the two.
Guilt by association.
Ambassador John Bolton, thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see who the pick is.
Glad to be with you.